times that long. So this will be a into the afternoon type of event. And again, along the marathon route, they have multiple bands performing as well. This is Music City. This is the Music Marathon, and they have the 5K that went off just before the marathon started. That was at 7 o'clock local time. So we're talking, 25, 30,000 runners here in Nashville participating in this, and they were very grateful that the original forecast of thunderstorms around this time didn't come through. The forecast has changed. We're expecting storms this afternoon, but not so much for the race. In fact, right now it's 59 degrees, ideal running weather conditions for running that long, and the streets are drying up. But again, this is Nashville, so there's still plenty of hills out here. Definitely a challenge. The forecast is really the crucial point will be later on this afternoon. We could see strong and severe thunderstorms in the midst of some pretty muggy conditions. Temperatures now in the 50s. They're going to the low 80s this afternoon, so do not let this morning's cool weather fool you. It's going to heat up, and again, that will start destabilizing the atmosphere. We talked to the National Weather Service office last half hour, and they're talking about right now they have warm layer aloft, what's called a cap, and that could limit the development of some thunderstorms. But I'll tell you what, if they do bust that cap, the storms that do develop have a good chance of going quickly severe. So it's the type of thing where it could be a nice, pleasant spring day. You see a couple of puffy clouds. Next thing you know, a half hour later, you got 60, 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts and large hail coming through, and we still can't rule out the risk of tornadoes. Our Torcon has been lowered here in Nashville, but it's still not a 0. Our Torcon is a 3, meaning we still have a 30% chance of seeing a tornado within 50 miles of this area here in Middle Tennessee. And again, Kate, it's not the widespread ongoing, long-duration severe threat, but there still is a severe threat. People in the area definitely need to be on guard, especially when you think it's just sunny and mild later on this afternoon. Kate?
Right. Thank you so much, Paul, for being on the ground for us this morning there. We do have another risk that, it's not just Nashville. This risk, it extends up a little farther north, Reynolds, to the north and the west. We have a Torcon of 5 going on for portions of Indiana and Kentucky this morning.
You're right. Wouldn't it be a perfect world if that we had some of the severe weather popping up at a place with no population, far away from hurting anything? Unfortunately, that's not the case. We've got over 30 million people that will be affected, over 14 states. Yes, the severe weather outbreak, one that, folks, you've got to be careful. Right now this morning, well south of Atlanta, we've had some strong showers and storms. Macon, you've had one installment move through, another one's farther back out to the west. Auburn, Alabama, right along parts of 85 from Toomer's Corner to Jordan-Hare Stadium. Oh my gosh, from Donahue, College and Magnolia, be ready for it. Farther south we go along parts of Highway 10, Interstate 10, from Holmes to Walton counties. You see the cities of Defuniak Springs, Esto, and Ponce de Leon all being affected until 7:45, all that driving eastward. We go westward and we show you the threat that's occurring right now in parts of Houston. Dr. Postel was showing, look at that. Yeah, look at the shape of that. We were talking about how there could be a real wind threat, and I would say that is definitely going to be the case there. The cities of, let's see, you see the cities listed, including Spring and the Woodlands, that'll be in effect until 7:45. Wow, look at this view. I mean, we back up a little bit, we put it in motion, we take you hour by hour through the morning, midday hours. We see more development in parts of Louisiana, rolling along the I-10 corridor. New Orleans, the Crescent City should be affected by it. It drives across South Georgia into Tifton, eventually moving towards Ponte Vedra by later this evening. And then we see late tonight the issues north of Nashville on parts of 65 going into Louisville. Man, strong storms, all but a possibility. That's what we can expect as we make our way through today in terms of where you see the red. That's your severe thunderstorm watch and warnings, rather. That's where we're going to be seeing the potential of watches and warnings. And then when you have, again, the thunderstorms in the orange, that's a spot too that we could be affected. Going back into the boot heel of Missouri, clear down into the Carolinas, Tennessee, 3 out of 10 on the Torcon, Georgia, parts of Alabama dealing with the same 3 out of 10. Okay, that's what we can expect for today. Unfortunately, that threat extends into Sunday and Monday also, Kate.
Yeah, it's not just today, unfortunately. Now, some spots that are getting some of that heavier rainfall this morning and some of those severe thunderstorms going to see the risk of severe weather tomorrow. This is the setup. This is what's happening. The ingredients in the atmosphere. This upper level low going to be a driving factor for this lower level low, a little closer to the surface to develop. And that's going to be an area that we see some of these showers showers and thunderstorms. Now, the dry line, somewhere we really watch very closely during this time of year. And across Oklahoma into Texas, where that develops is where we're going to see some of those storms initiate, which means that tomorrow the risk of severe weather is from Oklahoma City to the Red River, on down south through Dallas, and then on down 35, Austin, San Antonio. Then Monday, similar areas, including Houston, and that risk of severe weather once again. Getting into Tuesday, you'll notice it's a little farther off to the east that we see that rain move. It includes places like New Orleans on into Montgomery, so a similar area that's already saturated. Let's talk about what's happening tomorrow for your Sunday. From Amarillo to San Antonio, you could see damaging winds, you could see large hail, you could see an isolated tornado. You have a Torcon of 3 for Central Texas. How about your Monday? Because we know you're trying to get that morning commute kicked off, and it could be a hairy one from Houston, already a bad traffic area, on into New Orleans, where we once again have severe thunderstorms in the forecast. Your Torcon for Central Texas, a 4 for Monday. We're right back on AMHQ Weekend.
Success starts with the right connections. Introducing Miracle-Gro Liquifeed Universal Feeder. Turn any hose connection into a clever feeding system for a well-fed garden. Miracle-Gro. Life starts here.
Wow, sweet new Subaru, huh, Mitch?
Yep. You're selling the Mitchmobile?
Man, we had a lot of good times in this baby. What's your dad want for it?
Like 150 grand. 200 if they want that tape deck.
You're not going to tell your dad about the time my hamster had babies in the back seat, are you?
That's just normal wear and tear, dude.
Subaru has the highest resale value of any brand, according to Kelley Blue Book. And Mitch. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
We make meeting times, lunch times, and conference times. But what we'd rather be making are tea times. Tea times are the official start of what we love to do. The time for shots we'd rather forget, and the ones we'll talk about forever. In Michigan, long days, relaxing weather, and more than 800 pristine courses make for the perfect tea time. Because being able to play all day is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with K9 Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. K9 Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
Life changes. A small business's life is no different. That's why Constant Contact email marketing is built to evolve with your business, month to month, year to year. So whether it's an email to reach new fans and customers, or a quick and easy way to announce a big sale, Constant Contact's email marketing and free expert coaching are all you'll need, no matter how much things change. Help your small business do more business. Try email marketing free at ConstantContact.com.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sun and a few passing clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Strong thunderstorms with powerful winds delayed and canceled hundreds of flights at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport yesterday. Amanda Spaulding sent these pictures in. Travelers huddled at Dallas Love Field as severe storms grounded flights. No delays this morning out of Dallas, but I can tell you, I literally got off the ground at DFW Airport right before we saw that all those strong storms move in yesterday. There were major delays. Now, there is a new and kind of different severe thunderstorm watch going on right now across South Texas. Now, what happened is that we've seen some of this drop. This did extend a little farther off toward the west. Now it just includes San Antonio across I-10 into Houston. But this new area, this new severe thunderstorm watch was recently issued. This goes until 1 p.m. this afternoon local time. And this goes from Houston all the way across southeast Louisiana. You can see why Houston's included in that right now. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for some very high winds and possibly some hail in this location. We could see winds 60 miles an hour. That's easily going to be achieved by these storms. They're moving very quickly as well. This includes Harris, Liberty, Montgomery counties. This is another severe thunderstorm warning for Houston, just on the north side of town until 7:45 a.m. Now, if you're waking up with us this morning because you're hearing it just roar outside, it's time to be away from the windows because you could see hail or with these strong winds, even a little bit of debris. That's a possibility moving on through. Look at all this lightning. It's definitely being woken up in Liberty right now. Houston, you're up next with this next thunderstorm. 221 strikes in and around Houston right now, Reynolds.
My goodness, that is certainly some rough stuff. And, you know, when it comes to bad weather, you know, obviously that it can wreak serious havoc on sports that are played outdoors. That includes Supercross, where everything is affected from the bikes to the tires to even the riders themselves. Now, the Weather Channel's Reagan Medji is live in New Jersey this morning talking to riders about how they prepare for the weather. Reagan?
Well, Reynolds, we are just outside of New York City in the parking lot of MetLife Stadium above me. And inside MetLife Stadium, that is going to be the Monster Energy Supercross event today. The gates open up at 9 o'clock. Boom. We're going to show you what it actually is going to look like. We were here yesterday while they were practicing, and Supercross is like motocross, but on a different scale. Supercross is man-made dirt piles, and you've got the riders doing all sorts of tricks over those mounds of dirt. Now, weather does play an important role in this because when you look at the dirt, there was some rain here in the Northeast over the last week, and then that dirt now is kind of not very dry, kind of wet. So that then makes it a little bit more difficult for the riders. And of course, the mechanics of those motorcycles have to make sure that the suspension is stiffer so those dirt bikes or the motorcycles don't get down into the dirt. So we look back here, and we're by the Toyota tent here, the Auto Trader Toyota Yamaha tent, and we are with those riders. We spoke with two of them, and you can see that the guys are just prepping the bikes right now. The riders even said the cold weather also plays a role, and my goodness, have I had enough people coming up to me complaining, where's the warm weather? The weather does play a role. They say 68 degrees, the riders say, perfect condition. Here, a little cold. They got to put a little bit extra gloves on their hands so they can feel the brakes, and they have more control of their motorcycle. Guys, back to you.
Okay, Reagan, thanks so much. Now we're going to dig into the forecast and show people what they can expect in parts of the Northeast. Reagan said they were complaining up there. Totally understandable. I mean, they certainly have some cold weather this morning. Not the rough, severe weather we've had in other parts of the country, but still chilly for you in Buffalo at 32 degrees, 40 in New York, 40 in Boston, 48 degrees in the nation's capital. In Charleston, West Virginia, mainly into the 40s. But later on today, we're going to have highs rise up into the 50s, a few 60s out there, but still a departure from where you should be at this time of the year. The radar shows most of the story well up towards parts of Maine, some light precipitation coming down. The frozen variety, mind you, but farther south you go from the Catskills. We have got relatively clear skies, but look when you get down to the mountains of central Pennsylvania, some clouds and high aloft, you even have a touch of light snow. Kate?
All right, Reynolds. Well, the first round of today's severe weather is already moving through parts of the south this morning, but this won't be the end of it. We're timing out today's severe threat hour by hour when the heaviest storms will hit. And this morning, we're also following international news. More than 600 people have been killed after a powerful 7.8 earthquake strikes Nepal. Officials are calling this the worst earthquake to hit the country in over 80 years. You can see the terrifying video there on your screen. Buildings and roads suffering the majority of damage. Tremors could also be felt in India and Pakistan. And there were also reports that this quake triggered an avalanche on Mount Everest. We'll bring you the very latest on this as we continue on the Weather Channel.
I started my Camry. Ran a race most wouldn't dream of starting. Chose to take down a monster. and realized when it's dark enough, you can see the stars. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota, let's go places.
Oh man, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You're covered, Harry.
You gotta do it like this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, George. Hey, Jim. State Farm agents are there whenever you need them.
Joseph A. Bank presents the 70% off sale. All suits, all sport coats, select dress pants, and sportswear. All 70% off. Sale ends Sunday. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get 6 months special financing on purchases of $199 or more with your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
Are you sending your kids to school with an allergy medicine that may make them drowsy? Only Children's Claritin provides non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief.
And it's the #1 pediatrician-recommended non-drowsy brand.
In class and out, your kids can live Claritin Clear.
We'll be back Monday morning with a complete wrap-up following the severe weather. A look ahead at more storms as they threaten the South once again. We'll see it Monday morning, 5 a.m. Wake Up with Al and AMH.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
As former firemen, we learned the key to doing a great job was to work well together.
It's also the key to making a great sandwich.
Take our turkey bacon ranch sub, pile high with smoked turkey breast, sharp cheddar cheese, creamy peppercorn ranch, then top with bacon.
Or try our Hook and Ladder Light. Starts at just $5.49. Like all our subs, a perfect balance of ingredients working well together.
If only you and your barber could work so well together.
At least I still need one.
Please.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sun and a few passing clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to AMHQ Weekend. Now, we are looking at a brand new watch that was issued. We're all looking at this broad area of showers and thunderstorms, but we've had some changes here recently, right, Dr. Posto?
Right. Some showers and storms, some of which had been severe a couple of hours ago in the northern panhandle of Florida, are moving into South Georgia and eastern parts of the panhandle of Florida. And the Storm Prediction Center has now come out with a mesoscale discussion, meaning we'll see if they're going to issue a watch out in this region. But the bottom line is that some storms with a history of producing some pretty nasty weather are moving into this area and into an air mass that's getting slowly more unstable, but still in that direction. So watch out for perhaps a new watch out for this region, and we'll see if indeed that does come into play. I would suspect right along the I-10 corridor in North Florida. And
not good driving there today.
No.
And this is just kind of round one, right?
Exactly. It's round one because there's an upper level circulation that's moving through that's helping to trigger these. And the dew points are on the rise. Tallahassee 64, Jacksonville 67, and the air that's getting into southeast Georgia, North Florida is coming off the Gulf and the Atlantic. So it's going to get more humid even still There's the tornado watch out until noon, but again, the question is what happens farther down the road in that area. I think a new watch may be issued this morning. And we have Torcons out for the rest of the afternoon, Kate, with 3 across parts of Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, that's the northern areas. That includes places like Atlanta, major metro there. You have the 9th biggest metro in the country there. So
yes, and the storms you were wondering about, the storms that are being triggered by the cluster that's down here. There's a little circulation, but potent in the upper levels moving through the southeast now that's helping to keep that going. But this is a new one that I've been watching. Yeah, in southeast Texas. This one is going to follow the jet stream and get into this area probably later on this afternoon and help reinitiate more storms. So another round, which could get as far north as parts of northern Alabama.
And we just saw that watch extended a little farther off to the east because of that, correct?
Yeah, I think so. That's right. In parts of eastern Texas. So here's another severe thunderstorm warning with that upper level circulation moving through. Let me see if I can move the camera so we can get a better view of this guy. But let's zoom in on the Houston area and show you that, again, here, look at these counties, Brazoria, Fort Bend, and Harris counties in Texas for severe weather, severe thunderstorm warning out. So things are really popping in southeast Texas. And this doesn't really show much. I'm going to skip by that because to save time. But here are those 2 severe thunderstorm watches, Kate, that you were talking about. There's number 1. And then the part that's been extended eastward is that one until 1 o'clock. You were right on there.
And that goes into Louisiana, but that's an area that we're going to watch even later on today and this afternoon and this evening, right?
Yes. Look at some of the development here along the Texas and Louisiana Gulf Coast in parts of southern Louisiana. Watch out. New Orleans later on this morning and early afternoon. Big storms may be on your doorstep.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Bostel. Well, when these severe storms are threatening millions of Americans, how do they get ramped up in the first place? We're talking about the last of our 4 ingredients, moisture, next.
True Green presents the Yardleys.
Drives down the lane. Beautiful.
Oh, come on.
To the big man underneath.
Come on, it was in the pink there.
Puts it up off the glass and it's in for 2.
This is more than a lawn. This is a True Green lawn. Live life outside with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. Spring is on. Start your True Green lawn plan today. True Green, live life outside.
How do I get hotel deals nobody else gets?
Trust me, I'm a great negotiator.
Priceline Negotiator.
60% off.
40.
60.
40.
60.
40.
40.
60.
Trust me, they can't say no to me. I've been doing this for 20 years.
Can I get an upgrade?
Trust me, and you'll never overpay again. Seriously?
I'm trusting you.
Exclusive hotel deals up to 60% off. Priceline.com.
Wherever you walk, just remember this. Whatever you step on ends up on your car's floor. So to perfectly protect your vehicle, you need WeatherTech floor liners. They're laser measured to custom fit and perfectly protect your specific make and model. Order yours at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech floor liners, proudly made in America.
At Ancestry, we call it a hint. Simply type in a name and follow the Ancestry leaf far into your family's past. A past filled with stories that intrigue and inspire. And in doing so, reveal the one unique, improbable, and completely remarkable path that led to you. Discover your story. Start searching for free now at Ancestry.com.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with K9 Advantix 2. Its broad spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. K9 Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round 1 of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there in dusty Texas. Wow.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on. Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
You know, it's a demented recipe. It really is. Think about it. You've got like 4 basic ingredients that create severe weather:
Right.
shear lift, instability, and then there's another one.
Moisture, which is what Mike Bettis is going to explain for us on how that plays into severe storms.
One thing you often look for when forecasting severe weather is moisture. But what is it, where is it, and what do you do with it? Well, moisture is simply how much water there is in the air around us. Where is it? Usually a big body of water, say like the Gulf of Mexico. But what do you do with that Gulf of Mexico moisture? Well, you transport it, which means the southerly winds move that moisture onto land. And if those southerly winds are strong enough, you can transport that moisture all the way to Canada. Now, the more moisture in the atmosphere, the greater the rate of condensation, which means more clouds that form, and even thunderstorms. And it's those thunderstorms that can sometimes produce tornadoes.
All right, well, there you go. Well, unfortunately, Kate, we might be seeing a bit more of that this weekend. Thanks so much for watching the show, but we've got more rough stuff on the way.
That's why Maria LaRosa is going to carry us on through the next couple of hours here, as well as with Dr. Greg Postel, and then we've got even Paul Goodlow in Nashville for us this morning.
Absolutely. Folks, please be careful out there today. Be safe, have a plan, and if you can stay at home, by all means do so. Don't get out of the roads.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow morning.
A witness when you set the world in motion. The full line of Ram ProMaster vans and the all-new Ram ProMaster City, purpose-built to help you run the town. Ram.
Average women's tees versus a gawking gopher. Duluth Trading Longtail Tees versus a gawking gopher. The Duluth Longtail Tee. 2 extra inches to defend your back end. Get one. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
Hey ladies, you love it. You gotta have it. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, because that cinnamon and sugar is so irresistible. Everybody craves those crazy squares.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with K9 Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. K9 Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sun and a few passing clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome to Weekend Recharge on this very stormy Saturday morning. I'm Maria LaRosa at the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta.
And I'm Paul Goodlow live in Nashville, Tennessee, where we had some rain this morning. Things are drying up, but yeah, it's cool now. In the upper 50s to low 60s, we can see the 80s, and we can see some severe thunderstorms here with the risk of tornadoes. I'll have more coming up in a live report.
All right, Paul, for the second morning in a row, San Antonio, Texas, dealing with flash flooding. 2.18 inches of rain since midnight, prompting a number of water rescues. 1.5 inches of rain, fell in just an hour. San Antonio's picked up nearly 4.5 inches of rain over the past 2 days. and more is expected. The city usually only sees about 2.71 inches of rain during the month of April for the entire month. Now we have that blowing rain hitting Midlothian, Texas last night. This just southwest of Dallas. About an inch of rain fell in an hour's time, with winds packing gusts up to 70 miles per hour. Also reported golf ball size hail. Straight line winds toppled trees and power lines in nearby neighborhoods. Tracking that line yesterday afternoon, and it was nasty to say the least. We have a lot of ingredients coming together again today for severe weather. We're seeing it right now. Let's give you the snapshot for the day today. Let's start with right now. Tornado watch now in effect. Area in red. Southern Alabama into northern Florida. The Panhandle in Florida includes Pensacola and Destin. This out until noontime Central Time. We've already had some warnings within this watch. We've also had severe thunderstorm warning. So gusty winds, a big issue here. The showers and thunderstorms that came through Atlanta, pushing through Columbus, Georgia right now, but we do have that warning in northern Florida that originally had maybe some rotation, but definitely gusty winds at this point as it moves off to the east. A big area of concern today all the way from St. Louis includes Cincinnati, Nashville, where Paul Goodloe is, down through Nashville and Tallahassee, as well as into New Orleans, and once again Houston. We'll keep an eye on you. As far as the tornado threat, big numbers on the map today. 5 for southern Illinois, west and central Kentucky. Right now a 3 for central and east Tennessee on the Torcon. That means a 3 in 10 chance within 50-mile radius of that area of seeing a tornado, but keeping an eye also in northern Alabama and central and northern Georgia. Now with that threat in mind, we want to take you now back to Nashville, where I'm joined with Paul Goodloe there. Paul, when you look at this forecast and you're talking about the ingredients, to say it's complicated in a city like Nashville, there's so many factors that could make it go or also limit it.
Definitely, Maria. Again, we're talking to the National Weather Service office here in Nashville last hour, and they were just setting up their weather balloon, and they're talking about they're finding that there's cap or a warmer air aloft, and when you have that, it's like a lid on the atmosphere, and again, it's about 60 degrees right now. We might be pushing up to the 80s. When you have that warmth, it's like, say, turning the fire up on your boiling pot of water. The air bubbles from below. It starts to rise up. But if you have a lid on that, it limits the convection or the development of thunderstorms, and that's a concern because if they're limited, great. We have a beautiful, maybe muggy spring day here, but there's a good chance if the lifting is strong enough, it'll blow through that cap. Then we can have strong thunderstorms, even severe thunderstorms go up, and once they do go up, whatever does develop will probably go severe. Hail, damaging winds, maybe even a risk of a tornado as well. So a very unique situation here in Nashville. On the radar, had some light rain this morning. That pushed out, which is great news for the runners out here. This morning, about an hour ago, they started the marathon and half marathon for here in Nashville. And of course, elite runners, just 2 hours and change. The average runner, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. And they have some dry weather and cool weather conditions for that. That's great for that. But the concern is what happens later on this afternoon, what happens later on this evening. And again, we have a much better chance of seeing widespread severe to the north of here as well. And our model shows that again coming up towards the Ohio Valley. That's where the storms will really start to erupt. We head to 3, 4, 5, even through 9, 10 o'clock tonight. And there's also a concern right now what's going on towards the Gulf Coast states. So we're definitely kind of in that middle zone here in parts of Middle Tennessee. I want to bring in our storm specialist, Dr. Greg Postel. And Greg, again, we're seeing the better chance of severe north of where we are as well as south of where we are right now. And again, we're kind of in the sweet spot, but if it does go bad, Greg, it can go bad pretty quickly here this afternoon.
Yeah, it could, Paul, that's for sure. But I think the greater threat for severe weather, certainly in the near term, as you mentioned, is along the Gulf Coast and in parts of Florida and southern Alabama. Let's have a look at the radar because we've got some pretty significant weather moving through the I-10 corridor in northern Florida. Right in here, we just got fresh new warnings out. Right in here, severe thunderstorm warnings. But I've been watching this cluster all morning long, and I've suggested that there would be perhaps an eastward extension of a watch that's already in place across the region into parts of Florida and Alabama, and I'll show you why that may show up in the next hour or so. Because these storms right here are moving into an atmosphere that's getting more and more unstable. We've got dew points in the mid-60s flying northward from the Gulf of Mexico. It doesn't take very long for that moisture to get north. That's just adding more fuel for the thunderstorms in that region. And as that cluster moves eastward out of a region that's already being under a tornado watch. It's been issued a tornado watch for that region. I think there will be an extension eastward of at least a severe thunderstorm watch or maybe even a tornado watch. And the Storm Prediction Center has outlined an area here in what's called a mesoscale discussion, just keeping an eye on these storms, letting everybody know that a watch may be coming in this zone along parts of southern Georgia, southern Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle. So that may be coming as this batch of storms moves in from the west into an unstable air mass. All day, we've got torcons of 3 across the region, and even North Georgia. That risk may come later for North Georgia. But what we've got to watch now is this upper level disturbance right in here. That's the one that's triggering the storms along the Gulf Coast. But another one back to the west over eastern Texas. This one is a high altitude little ripple that is creating all kinds of thunderstorm activity in southeast Texas. We've got this severe thunderstorm warning out for Jackson, Matagorda, and Wharton counties until 8:30 a.m. That's about 50 miles to the southwest of Houston. But these storms have had a history of producing 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. So we do have a severe thunderstorm watch out for that region until 10, extended eastward until 1 Central Time. That includes parts of southwestern Louisiana, and we can time all that out as you see moving from the Gulf Coast all along the I-10 corridor. Watch out in southeast Georgia early this morning, and then maybe even later this afternoon once again as that secondary ripple moves through at high altitudes. Guys, back to you. Maria.
All right, Dr. Postel. We'll be with Dr. Postel throughout the morning. Let's take a look at what we know now, though, about the severe weather. National Weather Service reporting gusts hitting to 69 miles per hour in Katy, Texas. Winds there were strong enough to blow down at least 1 billboard there northwest of San Antonio. It's flash flooding, and we're hearing about a number of roads closing this morning in Cibolo, up to 2 feet of water. No reports of injuries, though. And this morning, thunderstorms causing backups at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, now holding all on inbound flights. Let's take a live look at Atlanta, and it's pretty tough to get some significant delays in Atlanta, but you have a low cloud deck, and that's sometimes just enough. Low ceiling cutting off the top of the buildings here as we take a look from the Coca-Cola World headquarters. We'll be right back.
Right now, save on a wardrobe remix at Men's Warehouse. Select suits are on sale for $179.99. Select jeans, 2 for $100. Plus, buy one, get one free on even more. Only at Men's Warehouse.
We make meeting times, lunch times, and conference times. But what we'd rather be making are tea times. Tea times are the official start of what we love to do. The time for shots we'd rather forget, and the ones we'll talk about forever. In Michigan, long days, relaxing weather, and more than 800 pristine courses make for the perfect tea time. Because being able to play all day is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
Success starts with the right connections. Introducing Miracle-Gro Liquid Feed Universal Feeder. Turn any hose connection into a clever feeding system for a well-fed garden. Miracle-Gro. Life starts here.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with K9 Advantix 2. Its broad spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. K9 Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
Do you regularly wear underwear? Do you wear underwear? Yeah. Dad?
Yes.
Yes.
I never wear underwear.
Never? Was that too much information?
Yes.
Now, do you think you can get too much information from your car?
No.
There's an email from my car. There are hundreds of diagnostics that the vehicle gathers and sends to me. Does anybody want to meet the sender of this email? This is the 2015 Chevy Malibu.
I love it.
We'll be back Monday morning with a complete wrap-up following the severe weather. A look ahead at more storms as they threaten the South once again. We'll see you Monday morning, 5 a.m. Wake Up with Al and AMHQ.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 87. Chance of rain 50%. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sun and a few passing clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Here's our 7-day outlook.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things were just going everywhere. And then it was silent.
This was it.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
That's the sounds of tornado sirens going off here in North Texas as thunderstorms rumbled through the metro area, including Duncanville, Texas. It's kind of a suburb of the Dallas area. Again, as they were pelted by strong and severe thunderstorms, damaging winds, heavy rain, not to mention some hail as well. And again, that threat continued overnight. A lot of delays and cancellations at DFW Airport on a Friday night. People trying to get to where we're going, even perhaps get home, and they were stuck at the airport. Now, again, if you are under a tornado warning today, here's some tips if you're in your house. And if you have a basement, that's the safest place for you, is get below ground. That is safest for you. If you don't, you want to avoid the windows. And even if you're in the basement, you want to head away from the exterior walls that perhaps are made out of wood. If you want to get to like a corner, I know in my basement we have windows on one end. We also have a corner with just concrete. That's where I tell my family to go if it is that dangerous in that area. You want to have something solid around you. You don't want to have a great view. You don't want to worry about trying to video what was happening out there, Maria. You know, the safest place is underground. If not, you want to put as many walls between you and the exterior as you can. And again, people forget this, Maria. The important thing to do is put something on your head and something on your feet in case you do have to get out and climb over debris.
You know, I'm happy to say, Paul, that we practice what we preach. I have the same setup at my house. We have our spot in the basement. We have brick wall on one side, the windows on the other. It can be tempting, but even if there's no tornado, Paul, we know the fierceness that regular severe thunderstorms can produce, and so you do want to stay away from windows. Cannot say that enough. We'll check back in with Paul in just a minute, but let's check out a couple of other cities in line to see severe thunderstorms. Of course, Paul is in Nashville. We're looking, though, at New Orleans, Auburn, Alabama, Atlanta, and Memphis. And you can see New Orleans, the camera shaking a bit there. It has been a rough last several hours with some showers and thunderstorms. A lot of big events there, too, that are outdoors. So we'll get you ahead of all of it as we go through the rest of the day. But we want to talk about a few specific cities, including Atlanta, where right now the Torcon is a 3. What that means, again, is there's a 30% chance within a 50-mile radius of Atlanta of seeing a tornado. So it's low on the scale, but it is not 0. And again, can't emphasize enough that even if there's a lack of a tornado, we can see a lot of devastating damage from straight line winds and even hail. So we want to keep that in mind. But as far as specific timing goes, we want to give you an idea. The peak timing really all day Atlanta at any point here, especially during the late morning into the afternoon and evening hours. You want to make sure you have a way to get warnings and be prepared. Isolated tornadoes, yes, absolutely in the forecast here. And hail and damaging winds, all part of the severe weather setup. We've already had a batch of showers and thunderstorms come on through, so it is waterlogged. Watch for flash flooding as well. And just as Dr. Postel was mentioning in the last block, we do have now an extension of that tornado watch here. It is now includes parts of southern Georgia and a little bit further east into northern Florida. This part of the watch out until 4 o'clock Eastern time. And it's in this area that we have a line of thunderstorms, but it's in the new watch area that things are relatively quiet right now. In fact, seeing some fair skies in that area, which adds to instability. So Dr. Postel will come back in and check in with that. But here's that line that came through Atlanta. It's delaying some flights right now, Macon right in the thick of it, but also right down here in through northern Florida. We've been watching some of the warnings here. Gusty winds, all part of it, but includes Bay, Calhoun, and Washington counties in northern Florida out until 8:45 Central Time as these move off to the east. Here's I-10 right here. There you are, Tallahassee. So in the next hour or so, this will be knocking on your door right now. So think about what you've got planned in the next hour or two. And if it means leaving the house, you may want to hang tight for a little bit longer if you can help it. But again, all along with this, you have the heavy, heavy rainfall, a calling card to all of these showers and thunderstorms that we've been tracking in the last few days. So that too will continue to be a threat in the area. There's I-10 again. If you're traveling today in through northern Florida, this is going to be something you'll have to contend with for the next few hours. That watch extended out until later on this afternoon. Where are we going from here? All right, so we've got that watch through noon here. This is for southern Alabama into northern Florida. There's the extension into southern Georgia and northern Florida, not quite into Jacksonville, but now includes Tallahassee as well as Albany, Georgia. This again means conditions are favorable for tornadoes to develop, but it also means the potential for severe thunderstorms, and that means winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, maybe some hail associated with it as well. We've been keeping an eye along the Gulf Coast. Another area that Dr. Postel was pointing out was the Gulf Coast of Texas, including Houston. It's been a rockin' morning for you, but just off to the southwest, you have Jackson, Matagorda, and Wharton counties, includes Bay City and El Campo in this area. Out until 9 o'clock Central Time, this one for Galveston County includes you in Freeport and Lake Jackson. Be on the lookout for damaging winds and maybe some hail. Coming up after the break, we'll check back in with severe weather expert Dr. Postel.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
Joseph A. Bank presents the 70% off sale. All suits, all sport coats, select dress pants and sportswear, all 70% off. Sale ends Sunday. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
To you, they're more than just a pet. So protect them with K9 Advantix 2. Its broad spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes too. K9 Advantix 2 for the love of dog.
I'm Sam. Jim's here as well this morning.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
That was good.
And if you were watching AMHQ, then you know we got you up and out this morning. We love to see your pictures. All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well.
You guys, I think she's here. She's here.
Is that her?
No, Valerie said she's driving a Buick.
Sure doesn't look like a Buick.
Take a fresh look at Buick. It just might surprise you.
I'm outside. Where are you? I'm right here. I'm in the Buick. I don't see a Buick.
That's not a Buick. That's what I told him.
Wow. This is
Nice.
Now current lessees get a sign and drive lease on this Enclave for around $329 per month when you switch to Buick.
Everybody has their fantasy of paradise. This time of year, nothing stands between you and yours. Discover your paradise. Naples, Marco Island, the Everglades, Florida's Paradise Coast.
We'll be back Monday morning with a complete wrap-up following the severe weather. A look ahead at more storms as they threaten the South once again. We'll see it Monday morning, 5 a.m. Wake Up with Al and AMHQ.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms. High 86. Chance of rain 40%. Tonight, partly cloudy. Low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sun and a few passing clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Here's our 7-day outlook.
lab. Dr. Greg Postel here as well. And you want to talk about a complicated severe weather setup for today because we have so many spots dealing with the potential for severe weather. And we're talking about parts of the Ohio Valley and Midwest, too, on the map for potential.
Yeah, and you can see some of the precursor signs that, you know, it's going to be a pretty active day. See that swirly gyre across parts of eastern Kansas and Missouri? That's a well-defined upper-level circulation. It's not producing any severe weather now, but as it moves from there over to, say, parts of the southern Ohio Valley, just to the south of where it goes, watch out for its production of bigger storms later on today. Let's time it out, and I can show you that St. Louis, for example, could see some big storms by 4 or 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock, just parts of southern Illinois, Indiana, northern Kentucky. These could be some pretty nasty storms with a lot of upper-level support. That's a pretty well-defined little gyre swirly there, and that should carry through the late evening hours. So be on the lookout for severe weather there, where we have torcons up in this part of the country all the way as high as 5.
Now that upper level swirl, I mean, it's a source of the wind shear, right? But it's also that kind of cold pocket. We talk about cold pocket where it adds to instability.
Yeah, it's the cold air aloft, and also as that cold air moves in, the atmosphere responds to that by sort of exciting these vertical motions, and that's part of why you see just on the leading edge of these circulations, you see oftentimes severe weather, thunderstorm production. So that's kind of what happens as these sort of systems move in, and I think we're going to see that later on today. That's a good call, Maria. But look at what's going on now across parts of the southeast. We got a whole lot of severe thunderstorm warnings just to the west of Tallahassee. We've been watching this area all morning long, and it's riding into a very soupy air mass with dew points on the rise, upper 60s, low 70s. And there was a tornado watch out until noon, but guess what, Maria?
It's been extended, just like you said.
Till 4 o'clock across parts of southern Georgia and northern Florida.
Okay, so these are big thunderstorms growing right now. So are we looking at primarily a wind threat, at least in the immediate next hour or two, with the ones that are warned?
Yes, that's what I would say. But they could have brief spin-ups. We've seen some of that even earlier today across parts of the panhandle of Florida. Just real brief twists in the circulation, essentially, in the thunderstorm scale. So watch out. These could produce tornadoes, but Maria, you're exactly right. I think the primary hazards of these would be high winds. But later on today, maybe the tornado threat goes up a little bit as we go through the early and mid-afternoon hours, including the I-10 corridor to Jacksonville.
And you watch that over the last several hours. It maintains. It's not like it phases out and then rejects. I mean, it is sliding there, and it looks like Jacksonville right about dinner time. You could be looking at, and then back off to the west.
And then these guys can be very nasty across southern Georgia. Be on the lookout. We've got torcons of 3, but you might want to raise those, especially in this part of the country, because that upper level circulation that's going to be triggering that is actually out right here, and it's pretty potent, bringing some big weather across parts of southeastern Texas. We've got severe thunderstorm warnings in the Houston area, and I believe we have a tower cam near Houston, right?
All right, let's take a look, because I know for Houston this morning, the last several hours, you had those storms tear through, and I was watching this earlier, and you can see the horizontal rainfall because the winds have been so gusty there. It kind of reminds me of a few of these rounds of thunderstorms they've had the last few days, where you get these little segments that kind of just tear through the city. But yeah, now it has that support from that little spin you were showing before.
Yep, and as you said, a lot of rain, and we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings for some high winds. In fact, to the west of Houston, in Katy, Texas, about an hour and a half ago, they had a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust. So they mean business. Some of these could have those very high winds as well. Let's time these guys out as they go along the I-10 corridor through the late morning and afternoon hours. Getting into, watch out, New Orleans perhaps, and even, although this one doesn't show it, it kind of weakens these storms as it moves along I-10. But there could be some big storms throughout the early afternoon hours as well, with that secondary upper level disturbance moving through.
And you know, it's the season for outdoor events. I mean, New Orleans alone, you have the Jazz Fest.
Yes, right.
And I know in Nashville they have the marathon. So I want to check in with Paul Goodlow, because he's up there, also keeping an eye on the weather conditions there. Paul, I know it's relatively quiet right now. Actually, great weather for runners.
Yeah, great weather, but again, the sun is coming up. We're seeing a little bit more of the cloud bank kind of lifting here, so temperatures will continue to rise. As a warm front goes through, we can easily see upper 70s, even low 80s today. It's going to be a sticky air mass. So, yeah, don't let this morning's kind of cool weather kind of fool you, because we still have a risk here. Take a look at our torcon here in Nashville. It's been dropped from a 6 down to a 3. Good news for lowering it, but we still have that risk. It is still not a 0 here, because we can still see some thunderstorms thunderstorms, they'll be perhaps instead of more widespread, more isolated. But what they do, if those storms do pop up, it's a good chance the few that we'll see will go severe, and they have a damaging wind, a hail, and a slight tornado risk as well. It is not out of the question that we could see some severe thunderstorms producing tornadoes as we head through this afternoon, even this evening as well. In fact, the forecast calls for our temperatures to move to the upper 70s, even low 80s, and a chance of thunderstorms anytime after, say, 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon. We'll have much more coming up on Weekend Recharge.
Introducing the new Can-Am Spyder F3. With a cruising riding position and the most advanced vehicle stability system in the industry, you'll ride with a feeling of complete freedom and confidence. Visit your Can-Am dealer and test drive the Spyder F3 today.
You could sit at your computer and read all about zero-turn mowers. Click, scroll, tweet, or you could just sit on a John Deere Z435 Easy Track and feel its power. You'll know it'll get the job done fast. When it's time to pick a mower, you've got to get on one. Visit your local John Deere dealer for a test drive today. Sign up to take your turn on a Z435 and save $100 on your purchase. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Need an oil change? Let the boys do it for you with our full-service oil change and a multi-point inspection for only $19.99 with coupon. And make your service appointment easily online at petboys.com. Trust the boys to get you there.
Come on, big boy, come on.
Wait. You have to take this back.
You ordered the Floral Fantasy?
But I only had this swatch. I never saw how it looked.
I think it's beautiful.
Oh.
At Lazy Boy, you don't have to worry how the fabrics, leathers, and options will look, because you can see it before you order it.
Don't miss incredible buys on an amazing selection of furniture throughout the store.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with a conscience? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with K9 Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. K9 Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
You know those neighbors always making weird inventions out of junk in their garage? We just gave them their own TV show.
Come on, Wind.
I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
One man's trash.
This is perfect.
Is another man's wood-powered Jeep gasifier.
Brainstormers, tomorrow at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms, high 86, chance of rain 40%. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sun and a few passing clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Welcome back to Weekend Recharge on this very stormy Saturday morning. 35 million people in 14 states at risk for severe weather today. I'm Maria LaRosa at the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta.
And I'm meteorologist Paul Goodlow here in Nashville, Tennessee, one of those states at risk for severe weather. The entire state, 6.5 million people, could see severe weather as we head throughout this Saturday. I'll talk more about that timing and when they could see storms even here in Nashville coming up as we roll on Weekend Recharge.
All right, Paul, great to see you. We'll check in with you in a bit, but let's talk about some of these powerful storms. Look at this hail near central Kansas in Hays. Some of the hail, baseball size. This was a hailstone from a supercell thunderstorm Friday afternoon. We did have 2 small tornadoes that were also reported with this system. Paul?
And we also had quite a few storms around North Texas. Take a look at this video here. This is heavy rain and just pounding Fort Worth last night. Winds reported over 80 miles per hour, dropping some quarter-sized hail. The good news is no reported of tornadoes from this, but still, the 80-mile-per-hour straight-line winds caused plenty of damage, a trail of damage to homes, trees, and power lines. People still without power this morning because of those storms. And the big concern is that entire line producing this weather is on the move on towards the east, potentially even giving some areas some flash flood concerns. And Maria, again, this threat continues as we head throughout the day.
And Paul, it being a Saturday morning, we want to get you prepared for all kinds of hazards. Here's what we know now about what the storms have done about that severe weather. This morning, thunderstorms causing flight delays up to 30 minutes at Houston Bush Intercontinental Airport due to the thunderstorms in the area. Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson also seeing departure delays of up to 45 minutes. We had rain earlier. We're also seeing some low cloudiness. Atlanta has been holding inbound flights off and on this morning as well, so check with your carrier. And National Weather Service issuing a tornado watch for the Jacksonville, Florida area off to the west. It is in effect until 4 o'clock Eastern. And then northwest of San Antonio, flash floods are closing a number of roads this morning. In Cibolo, up to 2 feet of water. So again, so many different hazards in so many different locations. Let's get you caught up on everything that's happening right now and show you some of the heads up spots for later today. Obviously, this is definitely one of them. This is the new tornado watch. This part of the watch right here. This is out until 4 o'clock Eastern time as we see the line of thunderstorms moving into this area that makes it favorable for not just severe thunderstorms, but potential to see some rotation. So we'll keep an eye on that. But that other watch still in effect until noontime. This is the line that we've been tracking this morning. You see the yellow boxes. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings now to the west of Tallahassee, producing wind damage. We're starting to hear about some trees down in those areas, but also severe weather from the Ohio Valley down to the Gulf Coast, included torcons as high as 5, but we also have torcons through central Tennessee near where Paul is, a 3 out of 10 on that torcon. So Paul, still going to be potentially a dangerous afternoon and a lot of events happening in the Nashville area.
Yeah, exactly, Maria. Just over an hour ago, we had the beginning of the St. Jude's Country Music Marathon and Half Marathon. Kind of a long title here, but yeah, it was the big day for runners here. We're talking they expected close to 30,000 people participating in the marathon, half marathon, and the 5Ks. And along the route, they have dozens of bands performing as well. So it's not just a quick, run a couple of dozen miles or so. You're actually, being entertained along the route. It's a whole experience for a lot of people, and they were definitely concerned because earlier in the week we were forecasting severe weather to come through during this time, and that could have been a big disaster in terms of just trying to plan this event and perhaps even having to move it or postpone it because of the weather. The good news is we had some light rain overnight and the severe threat diminished for the morning hours, but it is still going on as we head later on tonight. That's the big concern. In fact, we can take a look at the forecast graphic here. Again, right now the rain shower is pushing on through, but we actually push this onto the forecast mode. We can actually see thunderstorms more severe to the north and to the west of us up to the Ohio Valley, but eventually we can see a line of thunderstorms develop and swing back through this area of Middle Tennessee as we head towards the afternoon, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock this afternoon. But the thing is, if we do see storms develop here, and we will, the ones that do develop have a good chance of going severe, developing gusty damaging winds and some hail as they blow through here, and still can't rule out the risk of tornadoes. We have a 3 on the torcon, but the good news is that 3 is down from a 6, but still, unfortunately, it is not 0. It is still a threat here. And speaking of tornadoes, Maria, I hear you have a brand new tornado warning has been issued, probably most likely down towards the Gulf Coast.
Exactly right there, Paul. Let's get you a look at that right now. This is for for Brazoria County out until 9 a.m. at Central Time, and it's with that cluster of thunderstorms that we were tracking earlier with Dr. Postel, and it looks like there may be some indication of some rotation. Again, so let's kind of dive down in here and see some of the storms, but obviously heavy rain producers, you have heavy rain out ahead of it, and so in this area you may be thinking, okay, it's quieted down now, but we're starting to watch this come into that area. So to the east of Sweeney and just to the west of Freeport. All right, this is a look at the winds with the Doppler, and usually when you see the brights of the reds and the greens together, that's indicating some rotation, and it looks like there may be, if I'm looking correctly, right about here, you see a little bit of enhancement there, and that's where the radar, the Doppler, is indicating some rotation. So Brazoria County there in South Texas to the southwest of Galveston, we'll keep or should say Houston, we'll keep an eye on that one for you. All right, with a lot of rough weather in the area, there are a lot of outdoor activities, including in southwest Georgia, where it's the 94th annual Rose Festival, and obviously weather could be playing a part in the activities there. So we don't want to get you caught off guard here. We want to talk now with the executive director of the festival, Karen Smith. And Karen, we never want to alarm anyone. We just want to alert everyone. What are your plans for today, considering you have some rough weather possible?
Well, we're just taking a real slow effect with everything. We're keeping an eye on the weather, of course, thanks to you guys. And we're just trying to walk through it one step at a time right now.
All right. And in about 20 seconds here, what advice for festival goers if they're heading out today?
Well, we encourage them to please come on. We're not scrapping everything for the whole day. We're still planning to go on with our event. So just watch the weather, be safe, but we're going to be here and ready in case we get a break.
All right, we appreciate it. Great advice. Thank you so much. We want to get you prepared for anything you have today, so we'll be back with more severe weather coverage next.
Gone fishing. It's a sign that means we've locked up and headed off to do something we love. Luckily, there's an entire state dedicated to those little signs, with 19 million acres of woods. Gone biking, gone golfing, and the world's longest freshwater coastline. Gone rock skipping, gone sailing, gone wandering. Meet you on the playgrounds of Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with K9 Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. K9 Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
Success starts with the right connections. Introducing Miracle Grow Liquid Feed Universal Feeder. Turn any hose connection into a clever feeding system for a well-fed garden. Miracle Grow. Life starts here.
The Fiat 500 isn't alone anymore. It's part of a big Italian family.
It's easy to buy insurance and forget about it. But the more you learn about your coverage, the more gaps you may find. Like how you thought you were covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
But you're not even covered for this.
It's a profound statement.
Or how you may be covered for this, but not for something like this. Talk to farmers and see what gaps could be hiding in your coverage.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tires she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even as it wears down over time, its safety doesn't, thanks to Evergrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
Right now, save on a wardrobe remix at Men's Warehouse. Select suits are on sale for $179.99. Select jeans, 2 for $100. Plus, buy one, get one free on even more. Only at Men's Warehouse.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms, High 86. Chance of rain 40%. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sun and a few passing clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weekend Recharge. I want to get you up to date on this tornado warning right now to the southwest area of Houston. You've had Brazoria County right now, tornado warning in Angleton, Clute, Lake Jackson. This is in your area. The National Weather Service saying this is a rapidly intensifying thunderstorm, and there is some evidence of rotation on the Doppler within that storm. So let's kind of zoom in here and then show you that it's moving off pretty quickly to the east here at about 35 miles per hour, but it's right there. You see the different colors coupling together? That's indicating by the Doppler's indicating that there may be some rotation right there. So as that part of the storm moves off to the north and east, a couple cities in the line want to seek shelter now. Lowest level of your home, interior room if you don't have a basement. Richwood, you are in that area. Lake Jackson, it'll be near you at 847. Also near Mims at 903. So a dangerous storm, gusty winds to say the least, but there may be a tornado in there. So we'll continue to follow that. But we have a lot of cities that are at risk, and so we want to get some specific timing for cities that may be impacted. Let's send it back up to Nashville where Paul Goodlow is live for us. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Maria. Again, good morning. We're still dealing with severe weather on a very stormy Saturday after a very stormy Friday night, especially there in Texas, still going on today. Let's talk about this timing because a lot of people are trying to let their guard down, relax on a weekend. You have to be on guard because of an ever-changing weather situation. Let's take a look at the timing here we're forecasting, and we're going to see waves of rain coming on through. Even Atlanta saw some rain, and they picked up about 7/10 of an inch of rain. Rain still slowly moving out of the area, already doing major delays across the airports there. We can actually time out the line of this. We can put this in motion. Again, rain continues to push on towards areas of southern Georgia. Still watching thunderstorms across the Florida Panhandle, and storms still rolling from Houston and Galveston into areas of southeastern Texas, southern southwest Louisiana, moving on towards New Orleans with a Jazz Fest going on day 2 today as we head throughout the afternoon. They stopped early yesterday because of severe weather. Good thing. They could do the same thing again today. Atlanta, we still have a risk of tornadoes. Our Torcon is for 3 for storms later on this afternoon. Maria?
All right, and nothing says spring, Paul, like severe weather and then snowfall. We have it and had it in Pittsburgh this morning. So let's look at that story because it is all about the chill right now in parts of the Northeast. I mean, look at Pittsburgh at 35 degrees right now. Their first trace of snow, by the way, back in October. So it has been a long season for parts of the Northeast. Let's get you through the rest of the day. You have temperatures into the 40s from New York, climbing into the mid and upper 50s by the dinner time, and that's pretty much it. And notice the northern edge of that rainfall trying to make it into the D.C. metro area and also into Baltimore, but mainly cloudy skies as you get into Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. But again, look at that chill. Temperatures not really getting out of the 40s from Buffalo to Burlington, even Boston hanging in to the upper 40s. So where do we go from here? Well, we still have a little bit of that chill with high temperatures tomorrow, slightly below average near 60 degrees, and that continues even on into Monday. And know that there were temperatures starting off in the morning hours in the 20s and the 30s. Now, when it comes to outdoor sports, weather is always a factor, right? Including this weekend Supercross in New Jersey. The Weather Channel's Reagan Medji takes a look at what the riders look for when preparing for the big race.
It's a cold and windy day here in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and today is the Monster Energy Supercross event. It starts at 2:30 this afternoon and inside of MetLife Stadium. What does it look like? Well, we have some video to show you. We went in there yesterday to see the practice of the riders with their dirt bikes, man-made piles of dirt, and those riders tearing up the track. Of course, weather plays an extremely important role in this sport, and we spoke with 2 riders about how not only the cold, but the rain could impact this sport.
We have to change our suspension and stuff like that because the ruts get so deep. You know, the bike needs to be stiffer to stay up out of the ruts and stuff. So it changes everything when the dirt gets wet. You know, it's not just one thing. It's a ton of things. Tires, because you want to run different tires and different types of dirt. If it's the windy and cold it is right now, your hands get super cold, and then it's like the blood stops flowing a little bit, and then you're sitting there trying to hold on to the bars and race at the same time, and it gets kind of a little bit dangerous, because you're trying to feel the bars, but your hands are so cold that you can't feel much. So it's a little bit dangerous, but you just got to play it out.
Rain will not be a factor here at the Supercross event. However, cold will be. The high today will be about 60 degrees here in East Rutherford, New Jersey. So if you're going to come out to this Supercross event, you better bundle up. Back to you.
Absolutely, Reagan. As you can see, temperatures falling into the low 50s by late tonight. We'll be back.
I started my Camry. Ran a race most wouldn't dream of starting. Chose to take down a monster. And realized when it's dark enough, you can see the stars. One bold choice leads to another. Toyota, let's go places.
Joseph A. Bank presents the 70% off sale. All suits, all sport coats, select dress pants and sportswear, all 70% off. Sale ends Sunday. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
To you, they're more than just a pet. So protect them with K9 Advantix 2. Its broad spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. K9 Advantix 2 for the love of dog.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
A little bit here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
We'll be back Monday morning with a complete wrap-up following the severe weather. A look ahead at more storms as they threaten the South once again. We'll see it Monday morning, 5 a.m. Wake Up with Al and AMA.
Want a seat in every stadium in the league? MLB Extra Innings and Xfinity from Comcast put you in the front row for your favorite team wherever you live. With up to 80 out-of-market games a week, you can watch the games you want to watch all season long. Plus, with the X1 Sports app, you can get live scores in real time and easily switch between close games. Order MLB Extra Innings right now for just 4 easy payments of $49.75 each. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit Comcast.com/sports today.
Skin's ability to retain moisture weakens with age. New Gold Bond Strength and Resilience has skin-plumping moisturizers and proteins from the Resurrection Plant to bring skin back to life. 84% saw an improvement in skin texture in 5 days. Gold Bond Strength and Resilience.
When you're diabetic, one of the important things about keeping yourself healthy is keeping your skin hydrated.
Gold Bond Diabetics Dry Skin Relief. 9 out of 10 saw noticeable improvement in just 1 hour. Dry skin is under control.
Gold Bond really works.
Currently in our area, 82 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms. High 86. Chance of rain 40%. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sun and a few passing clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weekend Recharge. We have some world news we want to bring you up to date on. A developing story in Nepal. Devastating is the only way to say that. More than 600 people killed after a powerful 7.8 earthquake. It was centered about 50 miles northwest of Kathmandu. Officials calling it the worst quake to hit Nepal in more than 80 years. Buildings, roads suffering the majority of the damage. Tremors could also be felt in India and Pakistan. Reports that the quake triggered an avalanche on Mount Everest, and we're nearing the peak season for climbers at Mount Everest, and from what I'm seeing, Dr. Postel, it seems like there are climbers now that may be someone stranded because these ice bridges that they use to climb have been destroyed, and a devastating situation there. But we'll keep tabs on that. Closer to home, we've got a lot of active weather happening right now.
Yeah, Maria, we do. We have some big storms rolling across the panhandle of Florida and South Georgia. Let's go to the radar right now. We have a severe thunderstorm warning out just for the west of Tallahassee. We've been watching this cluster all morning long, thinking that it would probably re-intensify because it had a little bit of a minimum there in strength, and now it's moving into an air mass in that direction that's getting more unstable. Let's go to the severe thunderstorm warning. It's out for Gadsden, Jackson, and Liberty counties until 10:15 a.m. So if you live in Chattahoochee, Cypress, or Quincy, this storm has got that peculiar sort of backwards C shape to me, which suggests maybe there's some pretty strong winds in there. These are the locations that will be impacted by that storm at those times. Tallahassee, by 10:45 a.m. if it holds together. Be on the lookout for this storm. And
we're starting to see reports come in Washington County as it came through Washington County, took down trees. So as you mentioned, powerful winds with this. And it's within that watch area too. So you have to really be kind of extra alert with these kinds of storms.
Yeah, the atmosphere is getting juicier and more suited to favor this kind of thunderstorm development. And they may also produce tornadoes because we have a tornado watch out till 4 o'clock Eastern time, including South Georgia and North Florida. Not quite to Jacksonville, but Jacksonville, hang on, because your weather there may get bad later on today. Here we time it out in the future radar, and you can see all along the I-10 corridor, probably getting close to the Jacksonville area by 3 o'clock. So we'll see if indeed if that watch gets extended farther east.
And you see how they're long-lived there. As far as limiting conditions, you're not necessarily seeing them right here.
That's exactly right. And there's more back to the west. We'll hit that at the top of the hour.
All right, Dr. Greg, thanks. And another spot keeping an eye on the potential for severe weather, Nashville, and Paul Goodlow is out there live for us this morning. Paul, things are a little bit quiet right now.
Yeah, very quiet right now. On the cool side, temperatures low 60s after the upper 50s for overnight lows with some light rain. Rain is done for a little while, but this afternoon things could really pop up. But also, we have to look ahead towards tomorrow, Sunday. Take a look at this map because once again, Texas back into play in terms of strong and severe thunderstorms. There's a good chunk from the Panhandle through Central Texas, the I-35 corridor again, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, all could see severe weather. In fact, Torcon's up for tomorrow for much of Central Texas. A 30% chance of seeing more tornadoes for your Sunday.
My feet felt so heavy at the end of the day.
They used to get really tired.
Until I started gelling.
I got Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
When they're in my shoes, my feet and legs feel less tired.
It's like walking on a wave.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles.
I'm a believer.
Now with a full line of independent rear suspension options, the Foreman, Rubicon, and Rancher automatic DCT models are equally ready to work and have fun. Part of the growing ATV family from Honda. Now get low fixed financing rates plus up to $500 in bonus bucks during the Honda Dream Garage sales event.
The final battle of Saigon has begun.
I was told that I should not try to take any Vietnamese out.
If we were going to get people out, we were going to have to make it happen.
We're pulling them on as fast as we can. There's a sea of humanity jamming on. People are falling off the air stairs.
Who goes? And who gets left behind?
When a moment spontaneously turns romantic, why pause to take a pill? And why stop what you're doing to find a bathroom? With Cialis for daily use, you don't have to plan around either. It's the only daily tablet approved to treat erectile dysfunction, so you can be ready anytime the moment is right. Plus, Cialis treats the frustrating urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Why pause the moment? Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use. For a free 30-tablet trial, go to Cialis.com.
Where you get your weather
matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round one of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there in Dusty, Texas. Wow.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on.
Here at the Weather Channel. The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to Weekend Recharge as we're tracking severe weather. This coming in near Lafayette, Louisiana, and you can see overturned trucks with those gusty winds that have come through, and we have the potential to see more nasty storms through parts of Louisiana, including in and around New Orleans, one of those cities that we're keeping track on. But we want to bring you up to date with the very latest information. We're tracking a storm that is tornado warned right now to the southwest of Houston. You can see for Brazoria County, there has been some rotation seen near Catherine, I'm sorry, I missed the Angleton. Thank you, Angleton, as the storms moved off to the east-northeast at about 35 miles per hour. So heads up, it's not in the Freeport area, but again, Angleton, you may be looking at some very gusty winds in that region, so we'll keep an eye on that. Another spot with immediate concern is where we're seeing the tornado watches. That means watch out. Conditions are favorable for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms. We have this part of the watch, including Pensacola and southeastern Alabama, out until noontime, but it's been extended off to the east, just to the west of Jacksonville, but for southern Georgia and northern Florida out until 4 o'clock Eastern time. So today's threat, looking ahead, it goes all the way from the Ohio Valley down to the Gulf Coast, even on in through Texas and over to Florida. Let's look at that tornado threat for today, because in some cases it's pretty high here. We have a 5 out of 10 for southern Illinois, but through central Tennessee, a 3 out of 10. And that includes the area, the city of Nashville, one of those spots where Paul Goodlow is for us today. One of the areas that we really need to keep an eye on, Paul, because once things get going, it could get going pretty quickly.
Yeah, certainly. Again, as we head throughout this afternoon, quiet right now, but that will change later on today. But also, we have to look forward towards tomorrow. Once again, Texas in that bullseye for more severe weather, including the risk for tornadoes. We'll have more on today's risk as well as tomorrow's risk, which again, you see it right there, a 3 for a Torcon for much of central Texas for Sunday.
Come on, big boy, come on.
Wait. You have to take this back.
You ordered the Floral Fantasy?
But I only had this swatch. I never saw how it looked.
I think it's beautiful.
Oh.
At La-Z-Boy, you don't have to worry how the fabrics, leathers, and options will look, because you can see it before you order it.
Don't miss incredible buys on an amazing selection of furniture throughout the store.
La-Z-Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with Canine Advantix 2. Its broad spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. Canine Advantix 2, for the love of dog.
Let's go emerald coasting. Visit Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Okaloosa Island, the heart of Florida's Emerald Coast.
Deep in the dark, untouched recesses of your engine is power you never knew it could produce. And vapor can set it free. New Stable 360 Performance unleashes that exclusive vapor technology that rises above the fuel line to protect your engine where other additives can't, to help keep your engine running cleaner, leaner, smoother, and stronger than ever. The next level of performance is in the vapor. Stable 360 Performance.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, scattered thunderstorms, high 86. Chance of rain, 40%. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 74. Winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sun and a few passing clouds. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 95. Here's our 7-day outlook.
to Weekend Recharge, an update on the tornado warning to the southwest of Galveston, south of Houston right now for Brazoria County. Some rotation seen near Angleton, and if you remember, that was the area a week or two ago. They had the circus in town and the severe thunderstorm come through, but another round for you today. Just a heads up, near Angleton, Clute, and Lake Jackson as this dangerous storm moves to the north and east. If you are in these warned areas, seek shelter immediately, a sturdy shelter. If you don't have a basement, the next best thing will be an interior room like a bathroom or a closet. If you are in a dorm room apartment, that means interior hallway will be your next best thing, as well as that lowest level of that building. So a lot of active weather happening right now. We're going to keep you ahead of all of it here on Weekend Recharge. I'm Maria LaRosa at the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta. Paul, good morning.
Good morning, Maria. I'm Paul Goodlow, live in Nashville, Tennessee. And this city has a 3 on the tornado, a 30% chance of seeing a tornado throughout the afternoon here. In fact, overall, there are 35 million people across 14 states at risk for some type of severe weather this morning already. Multiple tornado watches have been issued. Not to mention, we're still dealing with severe thunderstorm warnings stretching from areas in Texas all the way into Florida.
And Paul, it's happening now. We expect it to continue into the afternoon. We have, though, rain. Also a big issue, flash flooding. This is a look at Tuscaloosa, Alabama this morning. Quite a bit of lightning reported as well. This is from our Twitter user, Fred Davenport. We had cloudy skies this morning, more thunderstorms expected this afternoon, Paul. But once again, Texas could be a hot spot.